The Indian luxury car market has been in the middle of a phenomenal bull run over the last 18 months. And to excite the market further, the largest luxury car maker, Mercedes-Benz India, today has launched SL55 AMG. To talk about why this is a critical model for this year and what more to expect, we have with us Mr. Santosh Iyer, MD and CEO of Mercedes-Benz India. Thank you for talking to Autocar.
Thanks, Ketan, for joining us.
Top-end luxury vehicle market has been growing at a phenomenal pace. What's really riding this wave over the last 18 months?
So first let me say the top end for us is growing. I'm not sure of the total market, but for top end for Mercedes-Benz is now close to 25% of the portfolio. Wow. And that's significant from the earlier 12% that used to be part of the segment. And here it's a couple of things. One, I would say, is products, because I think we have the Maybach at one side on luxury, we have the AMG on the performance side, we have iconic cars like the G and the car that we launched today like the SL. And I think all this contributes to the growth of the segment and the desirability of products. Second comes also, I think, our clear focus on this segment. We have AMG performance centers, we have curated customer experiences, and I think the more and more we focus on this segment, it's also, we are seeing that there is a changing maturity of the luxury car buyer. Okay. Earlier it was, it was more price-led discussions. Today it's, I want a desirable brand, I want a desirable product. Even if it's expensive, consumers are ready to spend. Also the changing generation, with a new generation coming, they are driving some of these cars in UK, in the US, and when they come back after their studies, they want to get into these same cars that they love there. And that's actually driving also on the top end segment, and very clearly the demand is there. The other product there in that segment is also the S-Class. It's a flagship car, very clearly being leading, and I think with the kind of offerings on the S-Class and the S-Class Maybach, we are able to have a very clear dominance also. And that's also the reason why we launched the EQS in that segment, because we, on the electric vehicle also, we didn't come bottom up, we came top down, and we have the EQS there.
So, some economists call it a K-shaped recovery. I mean, there's a lot of talk about slowdown in GDP and the resultant impact on the overall passenger vehicle market. But it seems that luxury car market is absolutely on its own track and nothing seems to be budging. Are there any signs of weakness? Are you seeing, any kind of slowdown in booking momentum, in inquiries, in conversion? What is differentiating the segment from the majority of the market?
Firstly, again, I would just caution to say that we cannot generalize for the luxury car is booming, because one, data is not fully available from all nameplates, and if we go with whatever publicly available Vahan data, etc., it just shows 9 to 10%. So our first quarter was 17%. We will see how the second quarter comes up. So definitely we are a bit growing faster, and we are close to 50%, so we are also driving the market to a large extent. But as I said, for us, it's not the growth or market share. It is about the composition of the market. And if customers are really preferring top-end cars, our core luxury segment is close to 60%, with our E-Class is still our largest selling car. That really shows a very mature customer group in India, which is preferring luxury cars, in a different aspect. Having said that, growth will be there. We are still looking at double-digit growth, and the penetration of luxury to the overall car market still is at 1%. So that has again not changed, significantly. But certain segments, certain brands, I would say we are fortunate in that sense to capitalize on this growth and the changing trends.
So there is a sort of moderation happening. I mean, you can't expect that heady growth that one saw in the last couple of years purely because of the low base, but even the top end of the market, one is seeing a sort of correction happening?
No, not. See, the inquiries are very strong. Even now, we don't see any shortfall. If you are able to supply in the top end, I think the numbers will be much higher, because some of these cars, our biggest waiting period is in the top end vehicle. The S-Class Maybach is now 9 months of waiting period. The G-Wagon or the G63 AMG is not available for 2 years. So I think there is still demand. But again, these customers also have access, in terms of different options. So we need to be ensuring that we are able to deliver cars as soon as possible to some of them. But as of now, we had 2 price increases, frankly, Jan and April. But I still don't see a softening as of now, even after these 2 price increases.
So what you're essentially saying is that it's product-led and model launch-led demand rather than a macroeconomic driven, because the overall market pie has grown less than 10% as per the latest data that is available. So, I mean, is there a softness when it comes to the overall sentiment, traction, even as you see growth for yourself?
I don't think, as I said, the inquiry levels are huge, showroom walk-ins are there, so there is the desirability to own luxury products, I think, is all-time high, across categories. Not for a moment keep cars away, but I was talking to some of the watch retailers, even they are very buoyant, they are doing great business. When I talk to retailing chains, they are doing a great business, be it online, be it offline. So, consumption of luxury has really improved. Of course, earlier I would say there was a lot of rationality in purchase.
Right.
And this, but as Coco Chanel said, she said that luxury starts where necessity ends, and you cannot put the rationality there. And this behavior of real luxury buying is what we see now as a trend coming in India, and that's why I said that the segment is getting more matured, and we are able to participate in the positive manner.
So rationality is transitioning to desirability and even more desirability, which is what is leading to
better results for us. Yeah.
So are we looking at a year which is probably the highest ever, a record year? And from Mercedes-Benz perspective, I mean, it was...
we already did a record year last year, and this year, if we achieve our double-digit growth or any growth as such, so it should be a record year. But let's see, it's too early, just for 6 months of the year.
If you could just delve a little bit on the numbers here. I mean, you spoke about growth, the booking numbers, you're saying that the inquiries and booking momentum is still strong. For TEV, where are you at? What's the order book looking like? And, as you move towards the second half of the year, what's the expectation?
So firstly, we don't give segment-wise order booking, but I can only say we are around 3,500 odd orders still pending to be delivered. So that's a feasible number to be delivered. And this doesn't include the GLC, which we have not even launched the car, because GLC, we stopped taking bookings and also selling in Jan of this year because the car was run out. The new GLC should come in Q3, and that should further add to the momentum of what we are trying to do in the core luxury segment as well. So I think it looks promising with these launches, and we are still focused on the double-digit growth to happen for us.
And the booking momentum, like you said, still continues. You're adding to that number. And what about supplies here? Is it supply-led, or you're also seeing demand actually?
No, supplies have definitely improved, and that I think our production colleagues have done a great job. They have actually pushed supply chain a lot. We are getting cars better on time. But still there are delays, there are dropouts, we still have customer escalations, frankly, which I hate. And if you ask me, my single biggest priority is to solve that issue when it comes to delivery delays or wrong commitments, and it's beyond control of some of our sales colleagues. But it's better than last year, and we are working on it.
So apart from the top-end vehicle, I think the battery electric vehicle is another segment that you've got into, and that segment also you've been leading, just like the majority of the market. I believe globally also the direction is towards top-end vehicle and battery electric vehicle.
Correct.
How is India transitioning in that direction?
No, here again, in the EV side also, we had to link it with our TEV strategy. So when we decided to localize the car in India, we said, let's go top down. That's why we came with the EQS as the first car. And that was a clear, I would say, sense to not go after volumes, but go after the quality, ensure that the top end customers have options in India, and we feel it will trickle down. It's a matter of time. Our projections is next 3 to 4 years, 25% of our sales should come from EVs.
And what about top end vehicle also is the share?
That 25% should continue because it's a segment severely constrained by supplies, and that won't change. Because for example, as I said, the G63 AMG situation is not going to change in 2 years, neither the S-Class Maybach or the GLS Maybach.
Which means in the next 3 years time, we are going to see majority of your portfolio to be priced above a crore, because that's where your EV portfolio also starts. Or am I assuming a little too much?
No, I think you are somewhere in that corridor, and that's where the strategic direction is. It's not on the market share, but share of what we are selling. That's the clear focus.
As we get into the second half, what are the challenges and risks that you foresee, and what can one expect from Mercedes-Benz in the latter half of the year?
Well, the biggest challenge for us is the forex development. We are dependent on the euro. We are still a German company and a European company, and localizing in India. So we still are dependent on a lot of parts and components coming from there. So any forex fluctuation and the rupee depreciating has a straight impact. We had the first price increase in Jan, the second one in April. We were just waiting if there is a impact on demand. Thankfully, the demand continues. On the other side, it's positive for customer, because I was looking at residual value charts. Customers who have bought a GLC 2 years back, they are able to get similar price of the car even after 2 years. As I said, many of these cars you book at one price, by the time you get it, it's different, and when you sell it, it's actually you are able to recover. So I feel even some of these cars in the top end segment are becoming like watches. the initial ownership you have to spend the 2.5 crores, but maybe in 3-4 years time you get the money back, so you can enjoy the car and actually get it back. So it's an investment more than I would say a spend at this stage.
That's phenomenal. What can one expect in the second half of this calendar year from Mercedes-Benz? More launches?
Yeah, 4 to go, because we have done 6 already this year, 4 more to go. One of them is GLC, and then let's keep fingers crossed.
We have more BEVs as well hitting the roads?
As I said, the first priority is to get the EQS supplies and the EQB also. EQB we undercalled the market. We launched a car equivalent price to the GLB, and today 70-80% of our demand is on EQB and not on the GLB. So we have to get the supplies first, cater to some before we keep launching cars.
I mean, just lastly, while we spoke about the top end of the market and the battery electric vehicle, the entry level, I mean, I think Mercedes-Benz is doing something really innovative with Mercedes-Benz Finance. How are you trying to get the entry buyer in, and how do you make it attractive for them? I think you have some really innovative offers.
So what we have done is, one of our strengths is the residual value. As I said, we have the best residual value in the market when it comes to Mercedes-Benz cars. So for example, let's take an example of a C-Class. We are ready to commit 65% at the end of 3 years. So what we do is, we tell the customer that you only pay for the 35%, and so you bring your installments down, and we will get the car back at the end of 3 years.
Wow.
So we are trying to get fractional ownership kind of a concept, or a subscription kind of a concept. On top of it, the other concern is also, is the maintenance cost high for luxury cars? And here we are packaging all the service packages, everything as part of this bundle. So you pay an EMI of say 70,000 for a C-Class, and you can own it for 3 years, just that you are not owning the asset. Because this asset at the end of 3 years, either you give it back to us or you refinance it. And you can continue to drive the asset. So these are innovative solutions. Along with our financial services arm, we are driving. We see a take rate of 15 to 20% on these products. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
So a lot of customers opt for it. It's also hassle free. It also it's good to, they can use even if they have the money, they feel I can use my cash for other purposes, because many of them are in business, construction and other areas.
Fantastic. So it's an all-round play, right from entry to top-end vehicle to BEVs. Fantastic. And good sign of optimism from your end as well. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us.